Alright, in today's video, we are going to learn how to render. Believe it or not, rendering is very simple, and today I'm gonna teach you how. Since I'm feeling such in a good mood, I'm going to share my hack with y'all. Before we start, grab yourself a fade brush. Okay, so first step is gonna be the base or flat color. Then you're gonna create a new layer and raise that layer above the line art and the flat or base color. I usually create a folder so I can keep in track all the rendering layers that I got, so I don't got a color on top of the outline or the base color, just in case if I make any mistake and I want to erase it and then I can't undo it. Or like for example, feeling a pain on like after sketching you outline and then realize you did everything or both on the same damn layer. So to prevent that from happening, that's why I create a layer and raise it on top of the outline and flat or base color, and create a folder to have all the layers I got for rendering. So what I did here was zoom in between the outline and the flat color, and with the color picker it'll form a new color also of a mixture with the outline and the flat color. And also you're gonna have to lower your opacity. When coloring, remember that you can only use light and dark colors. We do not use black because there's nothing darker than the color black, nor you can't use white because there's no color lighter than the color white. However, you can still use black and white to outline or highlight whatever you're coloring. That's acceptable, of course. Now if we took that method to actually drawing or rendering a character, like right here, notice how in here I'm using a very light gray and a darker shade of gray. We're not using black nor white. Also, the base or flat colors and the color that you're using for rendering doesn't gotta exactly be like this. Like for example, I could have chosen a dark color for flat coloring and then a lighter coloring for rendering. As I mentioned earlier, that the colors that you gotta use are light and dark colors, not white, not black. Then in here what we're also doing is playing with the shadows and lightning and messing around with the opacity and brush size every once in a while. And since we're working with clothing, we're working with the folds. This method could also be used for skin. However, since skin is more smooth than fabric, it'd be 10 times much easier than rendering fabric. Now for rendering in general, you just gotta repeat these same steps over and over every once in a while till it looks convincing to you or more appealing, or whenever you find it, you know, juicy, scrumptious, when it catches your satisfaction maybe. I'm gonna display this step so you can take a screenshot and you can go back to your drawing app and practice these same steps. If you keep practicing rendering, eventually you will say bye-bye to basic shading, because rendering is gonna make your art 10 times much spicier, much, you know, with flavor. I'm gonna speed up this progress, so I'm just gonna put some music. By the way, what I'm drawing is a redesign of one of my old OCs, Kuroshi the koi fish. Stay tuned for the final results. Alright, here he is. Look at him. Isn't he so precious? And look how scrumptious our rendering looks like. If you really want your art to look like this, you better log in, put your mind into practicing, and go to work. Let me know if this tutorial helped, and if you really like this video, I would really appreciate subscribe and follow my social media. Thank you. Until next time.